You can't do stuff like this on the job. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a black female judge by the name of Nikita Blockton, who is being removed from the bench out there in Alabama due to inappropriate behavior on the job. Now, this kind of reminds me of the video I did recently talking about the white female judge in Louisiana by the name of Michelle Odenay. She has now been suspended due to some inappropriate words she used off the job. A quick recap before we get into this new case. A black male allegedly tried to break into her car and or her house, and her sons were able to catch him right there on the scene. They called the police. The police come. They lock him up. He's in jail right now awaiting trial for burglary. Now, there was a video that leaked. I'm not really sure how, but there was a video of the judge and her sons watching the ring camera tape of the interaction, and they kept using the N-word over and over again to describe the man they captured. Now they're saying that she's racist and she may have racial bias against black people that are in her courtroom. So any judgment she makes, any sentence that she makes is kind of up for question. The NAACP said that all of her sentences should be vacated. I'm not quite sure you do that. I would say review it and see if you find any kind of discrepancy between blacks and whites or whatever. But throwing them out altogether because of that, I don't think so. I think that she'll be fired or she'll have to resign, because how is anybody going to trust her? Oh, you said N-word this, N-word that, so my client will not be able to get a fair shake. She'll probably resign due to this public nature of the whole thing that happened. But I don't think she should be fired just for saying certain words. Now, this lady here is a whole different story. And you see the headline from New York Post: Alabama judge who called colleagues Uncle Tom removed from the bench. And that's her right there, Nikita Blockton. And this is in Alabama? Yes, Jefferson County. So let's read the article, and then I'm going to pause it at certain points to give my 2 cents on it. An Alabama judge who called her fellow jurist Uncle Tom and heifer, that's pretty strong right there, ain't it, heifer? And who allegedly put her finger on the scales in domestic cases, has been yanked from the bench. A 9-judge panel found that Nikita Blockton of Jefferson County, Alabama, had a history of, quote, inappropriate comments, and as regarded her staff, a pattern of abuse. So she was abusing the staff, doing stuff on the job you shouldn't be doing. Therefore, she was removed from the bench. To me, that makes sense. All right, straight away, because judge or no judge, it doesn't even matter. If you do anything like this as a regular person on the job, you're going to get fired. You could be a mail carrier. You could be a truck driver. You could be in the military. You could be whatever. If you do stuff like that, especially in the white collar type stuff, oh yeah, you're going to get fired ASAP. That abuse included, quote, excessive, unproductive, and unnecessary nights and weekends she forced her underlings to work, according to the panel's December 10th judgment. And when her actions came under investigation by the State Judicial Inquiry Commission, the disgraced magistrate attempted to cover up, ordering her employees to allow her to see their private cell phones, so the information that might be relevant to the commission's investigation could be deleted. So she's trying to get your cell phone. It's like, hey man, give me your phone. You got videos on there. You got text on there. Let's delete that right quick, because when they investigate, I don't want that to come up. So nah, you can't be trying to cover stuff up. That's not the way to go about it. Blockton, who was a circuit judge in Birmingham's Court Domestic Relations Division, also used fake Facebook accounts to, quote, communicate with litigants in a pending domestic relation case in an effort to affect the outcome of the case. So now you're tampering with the people in the case, using fake accounts. You're going way above and beyond what you should be doing as a judge. Way above and beyond. She threatened one party in a divorce case and provided advice to another through fake accounts, according to the complaint. Again, you're going way above and beyond what you should be doing. This is, in any case, judge or no judge, this is some, these are fireable offenses. But especially as a judge, you're going way too far. Quote, false prophet, how much is your white judge paying you? Unquote. She wrote to the disfavored party. Quote, the devil is watching you. She used fake accounts to, quote, friend divorce lawyers and even leak information on other judges, according to the complaint. Her attorney, Emery Anthony, told Above the Law, quote, "We are trying to keep her on the bench, and we were disappointed they removed her from the bench." Well, there's not much you could do about that. And of course, this article will be in the description box if you want to read it for yourself or share it to your friends and family. But it's not much you can do in that particular case. Not at all. I mean, you're supposed to be the judge, right? You're supposed to be impartial, not supposed to be meddling in the cases, not supposed to be doing anything beyond just giving the ruling, giving the sentence, making a judgment, not having fake accounts and abusing your staff, forcing them to work a bunch of time for no reason, just doing things that make no sense whatsoever, things that are abusive, things that are just taking advantage of your position and power. Okay, you're abusing your position and power and abusing other people. So, yeah, she most certainly should have been removed. Now, if the Michelle Odanay case, like, let's say they investigate Michelle Odanay, right? They look into her case files, they look into her conduct while on the bench, and they see anything remotely close to that, oh, yeah, she's got to go. She's got to go. As a matter of fact, back to the whole racial slur thing, the Uncle Tom and Heifer, all that, you know, Heifer not really a racial term. That's like a female cow, but anyway, that's an old school woman term. Oh, you old heifer. But anyway, going back to the whole racial slur thing. Now, if Michelle Odanay was to call one of her black colleagues the N-word, then I would say go ahead and fire her. Even without all that you just saw from Nikita Blockton in Alabama, even without all that, if she was to be calling her colleagues that kind of stuff, especially on the clock, I would say get rid of her right away. Because now you're doing things at work you shouldn't be doing. See, it's one thing to say a certain thing behind closed doors or in your privacy, your own home. That's much different than once you're out there in a public professional setting. And especially if you're on the job, on the clock, doing certain things, oh, you got to go. You must go. We've seen it happen a lot, and I'll most certainly approve of that in the Michelle Odanay case, and I most certainly approve of it in the Nikita Blockton case. Y'all got to be out of there. I don't look at these cases as racial. And what I mean by that is I don't look at it like, okay, you got a black woman and then you got a white woman. I look at what did they do? When did they do it? How did they do it? What was the extent of it? I look at it just from a colorblind perspective. Now, of course, I see that you have a white woman and a black woman. I see it. So I don't mean literally like I can't see the color. I'm talking about my opinion is not motivated by their race. My opinion is motivated by what they did and when they did it and why they did it. If you're saying N-word over and over again behind closed doors, when someone tries to burglarize you or break into your house, I'm not going to see that as the same thing as you're abusing your colleagues, using fake Facebook accounts, meddling in cases, contacting divorce lawyers undercover, leaking information to cases. I mean, that at a certain point could be called criminal. Okay, you have freedom of speech to say offensive things. Now, there may be a consequence. She may have to resign. Speaking about Michelle Odanay, the white judge, she may have to resign because how can anybody trust her? You said the N-word over and over again, like you said, every day. You must be a racist, although there may not be evidence specifically of your racism when it comes to rulings. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they do an investigation, there may not be that readily available, but you said it. Like you always say it, therefore, I can't trust you. Therefore, I don't want my client to go in front of you. She'll have to resign because of that, most likely. But in this case, you're talking about some criminal things beyond just having to resign. In the Michelle Odanay case, it's just, a moral thing and, a matter of impartiality. That's not necessarily breaking any kind of laws. You could say the N-word. Is that illegal? No. You probably won't go to the penitentiary for using the N-word or for having bias unless there's some criminal action that you acted on in your bias. But when you're talking about the judge in Alabama, I mean, some things in here are most certainly criminal in my humble opinion, but we'll see what happens. I think the extent of the punishment for the Alabama judge will be, what they say, that's what would say disbarred, because I presume they're also lawyers, removed from the bench, whatever the case is. It'll probably just be that in that case. And it'll ultimately be the case. It'll ultimately be the same thing in the Michelle Odanay case, whether she's removed or she decides to resign on her own. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this Nikita Blockton case, should she be removed from the bench, considering all of what she has been accused of and or what she has done that has been proven? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about the white judge, Michelle Odenay? Should she face the same fate as Nikita Blockton? And if so, why? Is it for the same reason? Is it for different reasons? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments. You guys know where I'm coming from. You guys know where I stand. I think that these cases should be looked at in a real way, not in the way of evaluating someone's race necessarily. Now, I know it's going to be there a little bit because the white judge was calling the black man the N-word, all this and that. If that were a black judge doing that, then it wouldn't even be a case. It wouldn't even be a story, because who cares, right? You can't be racist if you're a black person, right? That's the general mindset of a lot of people. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's how a lot of folks think. If you're a black person using the N-word, even if it's in, an upset way, then it's fine because you're black. That's what people think. Although I don't believe that. That's why I don't say any kind of racial slurs at all, because it's all bad to me. It's all like, it's no difference to me, but people think differently. So, but I think ultimately they'll find the same fate. They'll both be removed from the bench, whether by choice or by force, but for different reasons. One reason is because the white judge can't be trusted with minority cases, but the black judge has just engaged in straight corruption on the bench, on the clock. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.